Tristana is still open, she's tier 1, but the win rate for Tristana isn't great, and I don't think IG really want to gamble here. Once again, IG can drop out of playoffs. If BLG somehow are able to take down Sunny and FPX, they will overtake IG in the standings. There's no TheShy, no Rookie at playoffs or MSI. And that is something that I think is weighing quite heavily onto their thoughts right now.
Yeah.
And they still go for Tris.
I don't think we get to mention MSI when I'm talking about IG right now, Clement.
Oh, that's true.
I think they're a long way off of MSI. Like, they're fighting for maybe 9th seed right now.
You haven't seen IG in internationals for such a long time. It just feels weird.
I know. It does feel weird. I'm totally with you. It definitely feels weird. I wish that they were in that conversation, but for me right now, absolutely not. Anyway, let's catch up with the draft here. Tristana and Rell going to be the bot lane for IG. They ban away that Silas, which I could completely get behind that as a ban after Mole terrorized them in game number 1. Santa with a Orianna ban away from Rookie.
Yep, so they are going for the last pick for TheShy. IG are drafting themselves very comfortable team fight. This is much better engaged. They actually have people that can face check with this comp compared to their game 2 draft, and they also have some late game insurance in the Tristana. Not my favorite lane, given how Puff and Lucas I feel like are underperforming quite heavily against Trigger and ppgod this series. So it is a lane that could potentially be targeted out and focuses down. We have V5 already with WeiWei's Olaf, which is very close to his best champion, and traditionally has been a champion that counters out the bottom lane very well. You can't push him away, you can't crowd control him. Level 6, he just flies in with the Alistar and with that killer instinct. It's very hard to dissuade that from happening. So I feel like IG are putting themselves at a bit of a risk. I do expect them to play very, very safe in the bottom side and put all of their eggs into the TheShy basket.
Yeah, play towards that top side again. Get the counter pick for TheShy. Rookie goes on the Azir again. This is something that IG have done a lot this split for themselves. This has been one of their absolute go-to strategies, is just stick Rookie on the Azir. Personally, haven't been a fan, to be honest. I prefer it when he's on these much more lane bully-oriented champions. But either way, it's something they're comfortable doing here for game number 3. And now just the mid lane lock-in for V5. They want some global pressure by the looks of things.
Yeah, I do like the pick potential rather than something to the Galio. It feels a little bit too RNG-esque. The Corki's going to come out. Another slow matchup on their end. This composition relies a little bit more on poke. We have seen how the Corki versus Azir matchup goes. Usually Azir gets a bit of the push. And for the last pick, this has been going all across the globe. It is going to be the Cho'Gath counter matchup into the Sion. Close to being unplayable for the Sion, really. It's very hard to walk out. So we should expect the TheShy to just be pushing in on Langx 24/7. And we do have to mention that Cho'Gath is one of those weird pocket picks that the TheShy has kept with him since the very beginning. Ever since 2018, when he started to get the starting position, he has played a ton of Cho'Gath.
Which is, you know, there's a select few players across the globe that is, like, a real thing for. I think the only other specific Cho'Gath player I can think of is, like, Bjergsen, who brought out Cho'Gath mid a bunch of times. I don't know if you remember a couple of years ago. That's literally the only other player that I can really think of as, like, a significant Cho'Gath player, which I'm sure there are others, but that's the only one that comes to mind, which says a lot about how rare of a pick it is and how rare, like, regular Cho'Gath players are.
Yeah, it was back in the day when IG were trying to fit the TheShy into more of a Duke mold and have him TP around, but his Cho'Gath was really good and was known for always escaping ganks. A lot of times Cho'Gath, you set him behind, he auto pushes the lane quite easily, all of his abilities are AoE and he just dies in lane, but the TheShy was always able to dance away from that. The other Cho'Gath player we have in the LPL, I don't think you know about this, but it was actually BuBu. BuBu was a Cho'Gath main for most of his career, which was kind of funny. Just a tidbit going up here. We will talk about the compositions. I feel like late game, IG do have the better edge in the 5v5s. The damage output from this team composition is absolutely massive when you get 3 items, and this game you can't really expect Sion to be as tanky as a normal game because he will be set rather far behind in lane.
You see the happy Corgi on your screen, and the Warlord Azir as well. They're going for that early legendary for the set bonus, but whether or not they have enough Warlords to activate that will be the question. Oh, sorry, it's League of Legends, not TFT, and it's game 3 between V5 and IG here. Langx finding control of the top drive rush, and TheShy realizes it. He's basically an insect at this point in the game. He will get bigger, guys. He grows with time. Don't worry. He'll chomp down on some minions and he'll grow to be a big boy in the top lane. But for now, he's teeny weeny. So I do want to ask you a quick minute here, Clement, about this specific Sion versus Cho'Gath matchup. Because you mentioned how this has become like a global counter now and is borderline unplayable for Sion. How does that actually play out? How do you ruin Sion's day as this Cho'Gath?
Well, you have two abilities that actually block out his Decimating Smash, which is his main damage ability. So he has a lot of issues trading back onto you. His Q doesn't work, and he can't actually pop his W in Feral Scream either. So you can just... if he walks at you with the Soul Furnace, you can Feral Scream him, and there's nothing he can do. He can actually he just has to walk back. So the trading patterns are very unfavorable. Also, the damage type, Cho'Gath does get extra 0.5 stacks of max HP damage per stack of Feast. So he actually chomps down on HP tanks very, very quickly. It is considered a very unplayable matchup for the Sion. We're going to see IG going in for a bit of a light trade, but both Aftershocks are proc.
Yeah, ppgod taking a good chunk of damage there, but I don't anticipate a massive amount of action. Although Tristana level 2, pretty potent. Could be something that P5 need to respect pretty heavily here, but I don't anticipate a level 2 kill on that bottom side. As you can see, IG moving away, respecting ppgod's level 2 spike as well. So let's... oh, hang on. Puff at the jump, does get away. Puff taking a huge amount of damage. That was an ignite. Broke down in the bottom side. Let's talk junglers here, because we've got Shun moving up towards the top side, whereas WeiWei this time around, pathing towards the bottom lane.
Yeah, we're going to have WeiWei just focus on this bottom side. I feel like he wants to hit level 6 and have Ragnarok, excuse me, to go up against Lucas's crowd control. This is why you drop Olaf in the LPL. It's a very heavy bot lane focused gank. And the goal early on for V5 is to just get summoners out of Puff. If they can get a summoner early on, that means no flash, no heal, and you could just walk in on him with the Olaf and just chop him down. The way generally V5 wants to play this game is they want to use their roam potential. This is a skirmish-oriented teamfight composition. They have 3 semi-globals in Unstoppable Onslaught, they have the package, and they also have the Killer Instincts. So you should expect V5 to try to leave their lane and just use that mobility advantage to get into Herald fights, to get into Drakes before IG can respond.
Just watching Langx and TheShy trade on the top side. Langx, he doesn't even get to see it.
It's sad.
Every time he walks anywhere near TheShy, he just gets brutalized. And, I mean, he's actually doing a good job of staying even right now, but he's out of pots. He's got 1 biscuit here. It doesn't get much better for him up in the top side. It will only get worse with time as Cho'Gath starts to get some levels in those abilities. But Mole getting pushed out in the mid lane here. Rookie. Very intelligent recall here. Has an extra minion, so that wave will freeze here. Will slightly push towards him, so takes the opportunity to recall.
Should be teleporting directly back into lane. Meanwhile, we should be seeing a lot of action around the 8-minute mark. That's when the package does come out for Corki. Usually your bottom lane has already ticked over to 6, and that's where the sirens really go off, and we're going to see all the action explode. There's also another really crucial thing to look at is how will IG actually defend the potential dive, because everyone knows it's coming. That's exactly why you dropped this composition for, and I would hope that IG can see it as well. So I do want to see how they actually set up for that dive. A huge thing will be doing what Lucas is doing right now and making sure that there's no backwards for V5 to actually just teleport to. We are seeing IG actually just sweep that section continuously, trying to make sure that WeiWei is not able to get vision when he's already level 6 and heading over.
Yeah, one thing Rookie can do, though, is keep Mole shoved underneath this tower. It does make it more difficult to roam, but if you do it off of a recall, it can be difficult. Langx, actually, that's a ghost pop from Shun. He's committing to this play. Langx basically under the tower already, though. We'll find the knockup. Shun, I think, maybe overzealous on the ghost. I don't think that was necessary, but playing space for TheShy again. We've seen this every single game of this series. Shun will regularly go up top, allow TheShy to crash a huge wave under the tower and deny a bunch of CS from Langx.
Yeah, that really starts to stack up sooner or later. We are seeing Mole actually getting a bit of a shove coming in from the support. Nothing really going to happen with this trade. And, you know, the timer's kind of ticking down. We are getting to that point where V5 should be looking for the teleport plays. I think the position for IG's bottom lane is really important. One thing about Tristana is that she shoves involuntarily. And Langx is going to get blocked here. TheShy's trying to make sure that he doesn't have the angle for the unstoppable onslaught, even if he ticks over level 6.
Yeah, and obviously you can flash in the way. Rookie goes in with the Shurima Shuffle.
What?
But I'm not entirely sure why. Question mark pick coming out from Mole on Rookie there, I think. There's TheShy now in trouble. WeiWei moves up. Langx gonna be able to block him. Gonna be able to just stand on top of him and gets that first blood. That's gotta be satisfying for Langx to grab that kill.
Yeah, that was a bit weird from Rookie. I'm not sure what he was trying to do right there. Lots of question mark pings going down, and now the bot lane trade forces out the teleport.
TP from TheShy, but he's not going to get anything on this one, I don't think, because he looks towards ppgod. Does have level 6, but ppgod sidesteps everything. In they go with the bomb. The feast is there. One more auto would do the trick from Puff to get the kill. Trigger now alone, and Shun coming from behind the tower, getting that minion wave, stacking it up so that IG can push it. What else can V5 do on the map? Because Trigger is forfeit at this stage. You can see WeiWei desperately running down towards this bottom lane, but the onslaught of shadows, Trigger flashes into it. He tried to get over, but he will be punished. Another kill for Puff. TheShy just about gets away with his life, even gets the demolish proc, but he might answer here as WeiWei tries to chase him down. Isn't going to commit to it. It is just going to be 2 kills for IG.
That was absolutely massive for IG. They do this before the main offense from V5 is coming in. This should give them a really strong reset. The bottom lane will have prio afterwards, and they should be able to set up vision to make sure that Langx can't find any pathway into the bot side. So that just means that IG get to go later into the game where they have this super strong point in the later phases. Azir plus Tristana, definitely very strong scalers going into that one. I feel like V5 just went in a little bit too early. They could have waited for this play to go down, but they don't factor into the fact that top lane has this teleport advantage with the home guards coming out of the TP. And not really the home guard, just the extra movement speed from the TP to make this play happen. And Olaf, they know where he's starting on this side of the map.
Oh, making things happen in the mid lane while we're in a replay there. Rookie going to be shoved out of the lane. And one of the big advantages there for IG is the fact that they're playing against a Sion. Langx doesn't have TP, so TheShy makes this TP play down bot, and look at the CS difference. They're even in that top side. It was only 1 tower plate taken, or maybe 2, I think. So really not that big of an issue, even in terms of the top side matchup, especially when you have such a one-sided lane matchup anyway. So really, really nice stuff from IG, as you say, and that's going to be a fantastic feeling for them, especially after how far behind they fell in game number 1. You can see that V5 is still technically ahead when it comes to overall gold difference. You see a little bit of a replay, just a cheeky little Corki combo there onto Rookie in the mid lane.
Yeah, no response whatsoever, and Rookie without his flash is relatively weak. He won't be able to follow Azir in most of these matches. IG, they know they're on the back foot. They have to go for the secondary objective, just exchanging the Drake on the map for the Herald. And I do think that this is one of those Heralds that you can attempt to drop onto the mid lane. Rookie doesn't have flash. If you can get behind him, then Rookie's just dead. So I think WeiWei's going to look for the kill there and try to push down the tower with the help from Corki, or they could transition to the top side.
Yeah, we've got a dive on our hands, I think, Clement, as TheShy tries to catch the wave. It's not happening. He's going to go down. Easy peasy for V5. That was very clean. They've got a Herald to take the first tower of the game. Now the counter dive on the bottom side of the map. IG going on to Trigger. He does not have any summoners, and he will be taken down. Kill goes the way to Rookie. They won't be able to trade towers, though. That will be first tower for V5.
Yeah, and that trade actually wasn't all that bad for IG. It doesn't really impact the top lane matchup, but it puts Puff massively ahead. I don't think I favor that trade that much because I feel like IG's bottom lane is getting a little bit too much out of these trades, and putting Cho'Gath behind doesn't really impact the matchup.
Yeah, I think V5, they made a mistake in draft, because what they accidentally did was they banned away Kalista. And so without that pick, Puff is forced to play good AD carries, and it means that IG actually have a win condition in the bottom side of the map. So V5 out-drafting themselves on this one, I'm afraid.
Yeah, you do have to give your opponents their worst champions. That's actually 200 IQ. Thanks, Munchables. I will remind myself about that if I'm ever a coach.
Yeah. Look, if you ever need any drafting advice, just 0800 Munchables. I don't know if that's the right amount of digits, but we're just gonna pretend that it is. All your drafting advice, hit me up. I will say though, for the side of IG, they are still down in gold right now by about 1,000, but it doesn't feel as bad as it did last game. Like last game, it's like, okay, you're behind in gold, it's over. Whereas this game, they've got an Azir, they've got a Tristana, even Cho'Gath scales exceptionally well. It does feel like if this game does go long, IG are going to be perfectly okay with that.
And you can see what I'm mentioning. It's like TheShy doesn't really care about losing his tower or being put behind. He's going to win on the matchup regardless. So, like, nothing really changes here for the top side. You still need to be very protective of Langx as we see Sion shadowing him behind. Meanwhile, in the bottom side, you have a 2-0-1 Tristana that can just push down towers really fast. Two fights happening on two sections right here. Bot lane also going all in. And it's a massive difference here for Puff. Like, Puff is able to bully out this matchup. He has the shove naturally anyway, and it's going to constantly force V5 to actually send someone to respond to this Trist.
Oh, Lunching could be in trouble here. Feast is available, so TheShy potentially has kill threat on the top side, but WeiWei moves up to answer Shun, and the ward will be defended here by IG. Easily taken down by Shun there, and WeiWei just has to back off and respect this one. Mole, though, wants to answer the aggression on this bottom side. Stun onto ppgod. Will be able to get his own stun ready and available onto Lucas. There's a TP as well behind the play. Oh, the jump in. I don't know if that's it, Puff, but he does manage to get it. Jumps back out, but he's straight into the open arms of Lanching. Give us a big hug, mate.
That was a very peculiar play from IG. None of their members wanted to play aggressive on the bottom side. It was a pure two-man 2v2, and they just jump into their death. It's true they still get a kill, but that's a massive shutdown going over to V5. So I just don't think you should be playing aggressive on two sides. And that they are IG, they're going to go for
Mole's in trouble, though. He's fit, he's taken down, and that's a nice Emperor's Divide to keep WeiWei out of the play as well. Beautifully done by IG here, getting another kill for Shun.
No
in the mid lane goes Langx. Rookie's stuck. He's taken down and annihilated. Shun now knocked up as well. ppgod can follow this one up. His cooldowns should be up in a second, but couldn't quite follow that one. 50 seconds on the Drake, and I can just... These teams are itching to fight, Clement. They've got to roll for this one.
Can we just appreciate the fact that Rookie kind of just walked into that? He was actually really safe if he stayed in the right side of the mid lane. Again, this is, for me, it's just a weird trading opportunity for IG. If you look at the map, their mid lane, their top lane, their jungle is all onto the top side. There's absolutely no help here. And there's a Corki roaming the map. So it was just such an easy pickup for V5. We even see Langx going over the wall, escaping from the dive onto the top lane. IG don't even get the top lane tower. So it was just a very, very odd play from them. They definitely could have pushed in a little bit more on the top side before they executed that one. And it will give a sizable lead for V5 coming into this. They now have the gold lead. They do have the summoners ready on the bottom side as well. And this is going to be a really difficult one for IG to fight it in their current spot.
Yeah, and we talked about the top lane matchup. Honestly, this supposed lane counter has done nothing right now. It's actually pretty much favoring the side of V5. It's only a 10 CS difference, but in terms of impact on the game, it is all the way in favor of Langx, and he's actually just about even in gold as well. This blue buff will be taken by Rookie in the end as V5 push in, but they can just transition over towards the mid lane, where Langx is already doing the dirty work. He's already pushed the wave in, and Mole can move over and just help him finish that tower off. Rookie can do nothing about it. Feels like a long time until Rookie is going to be able to have a massive impact on this game, and I have to say, I don't know, there's just something off about Rookie's play today. It just doesn't feel Rookie.
Yeah, Rookie has been having very on and off games. I think recently, like, even he has admitted it in interviews. But he just hopes that the team can play to their absolute best when it comes to the later part of the season. It's always kind of weird for Rookie to underperform. Usually we think of him as the most consistent player on IG, but it's kind of true that he does have these sort of, I don't know, just off weeks, maybe we could call them.
Yeah.
Not even off
slumps,
days,
I guess. Yeah, it does feel a bit that way for now for Rookie, but here we go. IG moving up to maybe contest this Herald. We could have a bit of a scuffle on our hands here as V5 respect it. Just going to throw out some Corki rockets and try and get a bit of poke down before any kind of fight can happen. But Rookie able to return some of that poke damage. Both teams decide they got to back away from this one. Trigger showing on the bottom side, though, could be a green light for IG.
And I do want to mention the difference in itemization. Puff actually can deal with the Sion at this point. He already has the Last Whisper. So the tanky advantage is actually in the favor of IG. IG, I think they have the better team fighting composition. They have the extra damage on Feast Smite. So if they just hold their ground in this Herald, I don't think V5 actually wants to take this one. Indeed, they're just going to try and cross-rotate. Really, V5's strengths is in collapsing on members on the other sides of the map with their semi-globals. They're trying to out-rotate IG and not trying to contest the Herald head-on. I think this is really smart.
Yeah, I agree completely. Just go for the tower in the bottom side. And honestly, if you can trade a tower for a Herald, most of the time, that's going to essentially end up being an even trade anyway. So nicely done here by V5 to answer on the opposite side of the map. However, a tier 1 doesn't necessarily equal a tier 2. And so with this Herald coming towards the top side, perhaps I spoke too soon, as this will be the tier 2 taken by IG. Still very much a positive trade in their favor. But at least V5 got something on them.
At least they don't run into a death trap. Like, IG with full positional control on Herald, it's not worth you to challenge that one. So, yeah, in gold, you don't actually get the upper hand, but you don't kill yourself trying to make the trade, is, I guess, what I'm getting at here. Well,
yeah.
TheShy, we did see him go for a Gargoyle Stoneplate. It's very effective because of the extra bonus health that we have on Cho'Gath earlier on. And IG might be looking for an engage right here. Just having a little look at Mole, but not going all in.
Not just yet. Langx has spent a lot of time this game farming jungles, hasn't he? He took the enemy red buff, he's taking Grumps, looking for wolves if they're up, but in fact, just going to be rotating down to the bottom side. We got a Drake coming up. 1.5 minutes until this Infernal Drake. And let's be honest, neither composition can afford for the other to have an Infernal Soul. So time for both teams to contest here. Rookie doesn't have TP. He's up on the top side of the map. Trigger could be caught, though. Shun trying to predict with the fear, but he went too far, and Lucas now is caught out. Puff can't follow up, can't save his support. And suddenly, IG find themselves only 3 members in this river and being chased down by an angry Viking. The axes swinging around. TheShy getting chased here, but able to put a bit of damage back. He is real tanky at this point. Flashes out to safety. Nice buster shot from Puff. They will disengage the fight, and it's still a minute until the Drake.
Really unfortunate from Lucas. He goes over the wall, but runs directly into Langxing's ultimate, who stopped mid-air, collapses down, and I think he just over-chases there. Doesn't expect the Sion to be coming in from that angle. A little bit unfortunate, but as you mentioned, it won't actually impact the actual Drake fight that we have coming on. Infernal Drake's very important for both sides. It's just the most winningest of Drakes that we have statistically. And with the judging by the summoner advantage here, the front line from IG cannot get out of position. If they get out of position, they are just dead in the water. There are no summoners in the front line so far. They can't afford to over chase. So I think they're just kind of trying to hold their ground for the backline carries that do more damage.
They certainly do. V5 stacking up here. Drake spawning onto the map. Rookie is here, has his ultimate. Keep your eyes on Rookie, because I feel like he's going to make the big play. It could be big for IG or for V5. We'll have to wait and see as we get into this fight. Dragon started up, though, and IG, they might be nearby, but they're not actually contesting on this one. Forced away by the package, and now a fight coming through, but it's Langx. Just gets eradicated before it ever begins. TheShy is here to ward off the entire enemy team, and now they get an opportunity onto ppgod, keeping him in the play. I'm not entirely sure what happened there. I think Rupture denied the knockback from Rookie's ultimate. Bit of a misplay from IG enemies. ppgod, he's blessed in his escape from the play.
Super interesting from Langx. He's trying to create space for the rest of his team, but I felt like they could actually still get out fine. Trigger had his flash, Mole had his flash.
Yeah.
But he just kind of sacrifices his life for that one. And IG will take a big chunk of gold onto the bottom side. Also 2 kills as well. So I don't think that single Infernal Drake was worth all of that was traded back.
Yeah, it feels a little bit rough, especially considering that was only the second Drake for V5, and it would have been the second Drake for IG. That felt like you didn't really need to commit to that one. So you can see V5 group up on the Drake. TheShy creates a lot of space on the bottom side of this.
It was a really good package for the separation, but then Langx goes into only Lucas. Actually, only gets the charge onto Lucas, so not even that much damage. And ppgod has nowhere to go. Yeah, as you mentioned, the Rupture actually cancels that out and allows ppgod to survive. Bit of a miracle.
Yeah, so for anyone that doesn't know how these interactions work, basically the most recent knockup is the knockup that works. And since Rookie's ult is technically a knockup, even it's a knockback, but it is coded as a knockup, right? The Rupture went through just a split second after the Azir ulti, so it cancels the movement on it. So a little bit unfortunate on that one, but it is what it is. Baron on the cards here. V5 with vision control. IG trying to contest. You can see TheShy over towards the bottom side of the map has that teleport available. And I'm anticipating that IG will not let this one go without a fight. It feels like both teams now, they're just looking for 5v5. So they're just posturing to brawl.
I think what V5 are doing is they're just goading someone to actually come too far into the backside of red, and there's a lot of terrain there for Langx to use and just get the stun onto. You get a small area of effect stun just with the unstoppable onslaught, trying to get someone to actually go in, and they might have found the opportunity.
Yeah, ppgod goes in, but he's taken down right at the very start here. Trigger onto the back line, but he's feared. Puff has the DPS to try and finish these players off. WeiWei trying to escape. Double for Puff here. He can jump in with the resets onto Langx, onto Trigger, trying to finish the kill. The Buster Shot will do it. Langx has a big old tanky shield, but not tanky enough because TheShy has the hard counter. It's a win in the fight for IG and potentially a Baron, but the health bars are low.
TheShy actually going back in
Mole.
for the play here, forcing out Mole. Mole is still sticking around. He has a lot of range and that poke raining down forward. Only Lucas can dissuade him from going forward, and that shouldn't be able to... They're still going to start the Baron. It's pretty risky with this many low health members in. They're going to have to use the teleport members to tank this one up.
Just IG things, I guess. Here we go. TheShy trying to buy space for the team. They're burning through it pretty damn quick. They do have that Azir to work with. 3,000 ppgods here. There isn't a smite contest, so Puff should be able to just take this one. Oh, Puff actually secures it. I don't know how they managed to pull this one off. Puff gets the reset and jumps out the back of the pit as well. Langx went down. Shun went down. That was pure chaos, but guess what? Chaos is IG's comfort zone.
IG still comes out ahead in that one. It was pretty close with Mole being that healthy with the poke around the Baron pit and the magic resistance getting shredded there, but they still managed to eke it out. Shun dies just before the Baron goes down, and I thought that was going to be disaster, but at least Puff is there to pick up the pieces. He secures the Baron in the end. Not exactly my play that I would have gone for, but let's see what V5 tries to go for. They go for the backline dive immediately, try to get Rookie, but he is able to go into stasis in time. And look at the backline right now. Rookie stays alive, gets the heal over the wall, and he's on the high ground. He has that safe terrain. There's no one touching him. The Tristana is getting those resets, jumping in and out. And that was just a bit of an overreach from V5. They don't get the clean kill onto Rookie, and they pay for it afterwards.
And, you know, Puff is just monstrously huge at this point. Look at those 3 items. We're 24 minutes in. He has Kraken Slayer, Lord Doms, and a Phantom Dancer. He is hitting like a freight train at this point. If he can go for an IE for that 4th item as well, he's only going to get even stronger. He is an item and a pickaxe ahead of Trigger at this point in the game, which is devastating, to be quite honest. So now onto the Drake they can go. Absolutely no contest available. They can even let TheShy feast it for a bonus stack here. And IG starting to build up this control of the map that we saw in game number 1.
They have a lot of engage as they're going in onto WeiWei. Stun finally lands, but he should be able to get up.
Yeah, I think he's fine on this one. Knockup comes out from Langx, but Rookie pushing in. Langx is actually stuck under this tower right here. TheShy trying to block his ulti, trying to stop the way out from coming through here. But they're just buying space so that IG can grab this bot lane tier 2 tower. Puff is pushing in the mid lane in the meantime.
Yeah, IG know that they have a free trade. It's a 2-for-1, but we might be seeing Puff in trouble. He goes down!
I don't know what happened there, but Trigger answers for his crimes. It's going to be 2 kills here. In the meantime, Mole is on the split push. He's trying to find an inhib, trying to buy anything for V5, because they've already lost the fight here. WeiWei forced away from the bot side as well. TheShy and Rookie making the plays. Shun cuts down ppgod. He can recall to try and deal with Mole, but I don't know if he can stop it by himself here, while the rest of IG barrel down the bottom lane, trying to grab an inhib for their own. Shun arrives on the top side, but he's too late to stop the inhib going down. Instead, he's going to look for a little kill on a Corki. I don't think that's a 1v1 he can take, though. It's toying with the idea. Inhib goes down in favor of IG on the bot side. It is complete chaos in this game. As Mole, I think he's still getting chased down here by Shun, who's happy to just go at this one all day. I think he's trying to delay the recall.
Yeah, he's just trying to delay the reset. There are no teleports on the side of IG, so they can't really pincer him. But talking about that map trade, I still put it in favor of IG a little bit. The bot lane inhibitor in the late game, far more important than the top lane inhibitor. Top lane, just much closer to Baron. You can still reset and defend those objectives with a top lane inhibitor down, while it's much more difficult for V5. They will be forcing themselves to use teleports to cover the top side of the map.
Yeah, all down to the teleport play here. As you can see, Langx and Mole already available. TheShy is about to come up as well. So let's take another look at what happened here. Puff, just gets flashed upon. The Buster shot not in time, and then Trigger can easily finish that kill off. So nicely done. And, you know, IG answer for it. They get both of these kills in response, but that's still a huge shutdown to the way of Trigger.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of gold going over, and he's able to inch closer. It probably looks like the Phantom Dancer at this point, going in for Trigger as well, just to get a little bit more DPS on the map. However, IG, I think the way they play this game is really so simple. With that inhibitor open until the Baron buff coming up in less than 2 minutes, you just group on this sector, you wait for V5 to burn their TPs, and you just do it again and again.
That's the play. Try and outmaneuver your opponent on the map. This is getting pretty tense. Remember, V5's playoffs, hopes, and dreams are on the line here. Rookie can't quite get over the wall, forced to flash instead. Shun as well in trouble. Mole's behind them with the teleport play that you were talking about. Rookie in trouble. The fear doesn't do it enough. Trigger on the backline right here. He's free firing, but Puff on the same side, on the opposite side of the play. Going towards Mole, jumps into the backline here. He's low. The Buster shot doesn't finish skill. Knocked up by Langx. Trigger's coming out on top. Better AD carry wins, and it's a triple kill for Mole.
What a great find from V5. That's going to open up the Baron and extend the game further. They have more tanky members on the choke, and Puff has to make a super risky play across the wall to try and finish off the opposing members. But V5, they have 2 AD carries versus 1. Mole is able to stay alive, get the damage, get the triple, and we all know about the late game scaling coming out from a character like Corki.
Oh yeah, he's able to free fire the whole time. Same for Trigger, was basically untouched on the backside of the fight, just hiding behind this massive Sion, and this counter pick of the Cho'Gath not working out for IG in these fights. And again, this was sort of Rookie getting caught out. Misses Streamer Shuffle, has to flash, and then Mole is right behind him. Yeah,
that was great positioning on the package. Uses the burn to force Rookie and deny his actions, and also just take him down. After the choke, it felt like IG probably had to keep towards their side of the choke rather than chasing through it. I think that was a big mistake here. Once Puff jumps over, there's really nothing keeping him alive. They're able to deal with the damage dealer. You know, Cho'Gath can't tank for Puff afterwards, and they just mop up the fight. So I felt like IG could have still played that out, but going a little bit over-aggressive, chasing past the choke. Now they're going to try a Baron right in front of their opponents with WeiWei. Doesn't have an access in.
Here we go. Baron taking down Rookie in trouble once again. Just manages to get over the wall, the shield, but the Ignite takes him down in the end. Trigger falls to Puff, though, who's free firing on the backside once more. TheShy is monstrous in this fight, just waltzing forward, a giant dinosaur in the fray. Onto Langx goes Puff, gets the reset, and looks for a little bit more. The moo cow of ppgod taken down for the Quadra, and Puff wants to prove himself on this IG roster. He wants the penta for himself as Mole's in trouble. The crash down available for Lucas. In they go. And down goes Mole. Puff is on the rift, baby.
IG lose their patience and they want to make it to playoff. They go directly for the Baron play. They take it down with incredible speed. And V5 are slow to react to that one. They don't have a flash onto Olaf. They can't get into the pit. And the follow-up play, I think Trigger went in a little bit too early, trying to snipe off Rookie once again, was too strong. The rest of the middle of the pack improved so much. Rare Adam, a new team coming out of nowhere, out of the ashes of Vici. WE surging forward once again. And it was just too much competition for them to really hang on. EDG, RNG also making playoffs this time around. So, you know, V5, they kind of stayed exactly where they were last split. Still live fast and die young. And at the end, they just didn't have enough tricks to go through the postseason.
You could say that they lived fast and then died young in the season as well.
True.
They go down. Their playoff dreams are shattered. But on the other side of that coin, IG now locked in for playoffs. BLG can no longer contest them. They can no longer overtake because of game difference. So IG have managed to secure themselves playoffs, which means there is only one playoff slot remaining. LNG are sat in that slot right now, but BLG, they're licking their lips. They're looking for that spot. There's only one thing to be decided. And on top of that, seeding still very much up in the air between a lot of teams right now. It's only RNG that have guaranteed themselves top 2 at this stage. Everyone else has just guaranteed at least top 10.
Yeah, they can move up and down just a little bit more. We're going to have a really crazy end of the week. Still 6 days to go. And for the last seed, that one is really interesting because you think LNG has a massive lead as they play Rogue Warriors as their last game. That's kind of a gimme if you know how Rogue Warriors has done. Yeah. But at the same time, they've also taken down top esports. We have seen crazier things. And BLG this split around Zika has had some pretty strong performances alongside with Amy, who doesn't want to sit out another playoff run.
I know. It's such a sad story of the BLG roster this season, honestly, so far. I'm hoping they can have a bit of a resurgence in summer, but their dream isn't over just yet. But they do have to face off against Suning and FBX. It's going to be a tall order for them to make it to playoffs. Let's kind of cap out this series, though, and talk about how great Puff was looking today. And you said it. Rookie was saying in interviews, like, he knows he's not performing right now, and he's hoping his team can step up. Well, Puff absolutely stepped up today. He needed to be the carry. Rookie was not really firing on all cylinders, but that was okay for Puff. That was okay for him on this Tristana. Yeah, he does get a lot of early help. The 2 teleports from the top lane and Cho'Gath both netted him kills, and it wasn't really straight 2v2 laning. It was just them trading maps, which I felt like V5 actually kind of messed up when they could have traded mid instead of bot lane, but they allowed Puff to get really huge in these team fights. And IG, crucially for me, this is a much better draft. This is a draft with late game, with team fight potential front to back, and with an actual front line. So I feel like if we see IG just draft this way every single game, it's actually very difficult to keep all 3 lanes down at the same time. Like, IG really are their own worst enemies when it comes to what they think is their actual strengths. They force themselves into 15-minute or bust compositions way too often, and it's just kind of weird to see them going for, like, safe teamfight composition on red side, and then going for all-in compositions on blue side. So, if they fix their draft, it's really weird because they willingly go into these drafts, but if they fix that going into the playoffs, I still think they have a really good shot at kind of buckling the middle of the pack, coming in as a potential 8th or 9th seed. The thing is, I don't think it's something that's necessarily fixable when I'm not sure